I'm sure by now we all know that Dallas has the number one overall pick, with San Antonio followed by number two, right? So it's mutually understood that Cooper Flag's most likely going to be the number one overall pick in this upcoming draft, with him going to Dallas. That's a great situation for him because he doesn't have to come in and be the guy, typically, that the number one pick most oftentimes has to be. He doesn't have to carry that franchise. He's not going to be responsible for helping them win on a night to night basis. He can kind of grow into the player that he needs to become, because at the end of the day, he still has those two other number one overall picks on his team, and Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, and it is their responsibility to carry the majority of that load and make sure that that team is a competitive team that has championship aspirations, and everyone else will fall in line. Cooper will get the chance to play through his mistakes and kind of be a glue guy for them, play defense when they need him to, score when needed to be, but he won't need to be a nightly scorer going out for 25 plus. You have two other guys that are very capable of that. So he's going into a great situation, great coach. Hopefully he's able to grow, play through his mistakes, and ultimately flourish. I really like that situation for him going into Dallas. There will not be too much pressure on him, other than the pressure that he's only putting in on himself individually, because everything is there for him. He can ease his way into being a more productive player as time goes on, because you have two guys ahead of you, former All-Stars, Olympians, who can get it done. As far as that number two pick, there's been rumors about the Spurs potentially picking Dylan Harper, and I'll go on record to say I'm not a fan of it. I love Dylan Harper's game individually as a player, but for me, I think he's good enough to be your team's lead guard from day one. And I don't want him sharing touches necessarily with De'Aaron Fox as the lead guard of that team. I just don't like that for him in his development. I think if he ends up in a situation like, for say, like a Utah or Washington, which is probably unlikely because he's too good to even fall that far in the draft, but I think those two situations would fit him better in terms of his personal development and his growth as a player. Because he has he has a great skill set. He's above his peers in terms of how he reads the game, how he plays the game, and his pace at how he plays the game. It's I honestly don't want to see him go to San Antonio. I think they'd be better off with someone like an Ace Bailey, someone who, at worst, can hit shots, create his own shot, has potential as a defender, long, lanky kid, 6'7", 6'8", who could fit that team dynamic better versus you getting another guard who is best with the ball in his hands. I don't like Dylan Harper just spotting up on the wing. Then you hinder his game. You don't allow him to fully flourish and show his full capabilities. Unless San Antonio has the intention of drafting him to potentially move him for another star and for, say, a Giannis or Kevin Durant, then that's a different picture. But to draft him to ultimately keep him on your roster and develop him with that timeline, I don't like it. Not a big fan of it. Sorry.